the Strictly Free Game Podcast. I'm Sean, your realtor, also known as Sean Waller. My name. Whatever you call me, just make sure you call me. Listen, I'm here with my guy today. We actually in Queens. This is the second time I've been in Queens, bro.
Yeah.
This is the second time. I've been back home. I'm back home.
I'm back home. It's a homecoming.
I'm here with my guy Carlos from Insta Homes. Insta Homes, right?
Insta Homes Realty, yeah.
There we go, Insta Homes Realty. Yeah. Bro, give him a little background on you. First of all, hold on. Before we even do all that, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. My man got the kid gear on.
Yeah, man.
I'm digging it.
Courtesy of my lady, let me give her credit because, God forbid she sees this and sees that you compliment me. And I say, no, but she hooked it up because she knows, I love Queens, right? Love Seinfeld. You know what I'm saying? I love 90s. I'm saying, like,
yes, sir.
You love the Yankees. So, yeah, man. So I'm Carlos Gaviria, owner of Insta Homes Realty. A brokerage that I started back in 2019 going into 2020.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it's been in business since then with Insta Homes, but I've been in the industry since 2003.
Okay.
Where I started initially as a loan officer in the mortgage industry. And, I was in that from 2003 to about 2010, right? Try to weather that whole market crash, the Great Recession. From like 2008 to 2010, and the last company I was working for, that was my final straw to say, you know what, let me exit out of mortgages and transition into real estate, which has been a very interesting journey and been very unorthodox in many ways, where my intro and my progress and my journey in this real estate industry is nothing like how traditional realtors where
how do you get into it?
Yeah, like how you get into where you're door knocking and you're a seller's agent, you're a buyer's agent. It just so happened that, with the experience that I had in the industry, I met someone who had an organization that like I fit perfectly into that equation to help grow the company. So, I came into real estate, I bypassed the whole agent's role and just went into it as a manager.
Okay.
Right? Managing a sales team.
So you
right?
weren't doing sales at all? You just
No.
went straight to
So going in, I started in 2011. So I got my real estate license in 2011, and that's a time where we're coming out of the Great Recession, right? Where the whole foreclosure, the mortgage crisis occurred, where between 2010 and 2011, we just saw the emergence of overnight investors, right? People just people who had money buying up all these homes, right? All these distressed homes for pennies on a dollar, buying, fixing, and flipping those homes, that we just built a business working in and tapping into that network of selling those homes, where, we didn't have to work as a realtor, I didn't have to work as a realtor where I have to go out there and find sellers, right? We already had the sellers, we had the investors. All I needed to do was find the buyers for these homes.
Yeah.
Right. So, when I came into the organization, I didn't come in as an agent. I came in with my experience as a mortgage, as a loan officer. I came in as a manager where there were agents in the team in the organization, and I just managed them.
Okay.
Right. And I worked with them. I worked with them on the sales on the sales skills, right, on how to call and pitch clients. And we had a system where, you brought in everyone, you brought in every prospective buyer into our office to meet with myself or, my partner or the other person at the time, where we'll sit down with you and we'll qualify you and pre-approve you ourselves.
Okay. So
right?
It's kind of like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, we're like a one-stop shop. So let's say you saw our advertisement and you're like, well, I saw your home, and we were advertising, buy a house where you could start with only $1,500 down, right? And you can buy a home newly renovated. And it's an affordable housing program. So people would see these advertisements and get interested and like, what's this about? You know what I'm saying? And call in. And when they would call in, they say, listen, we trained everyone to, to screen every call. Well, not to screen any calls, as a matter of fact. Anyone who called in that wanted to learn.
They were all just coming in.
Just book the appointment. Said, yes, you could come in to see if you qualify for the program. Just come in with your tax returns, pay stubs, W-2s, and all this stuff.
Okay.
And when they came in, they'll either meet with myself or one of the other managers, and we'll look at all the income docs, right? Because the lady who owned the company, she had a mortgage background as well.
Okay.
So, we would just look at we'll
So
sit
you
down with,
just literally pre-qualifying them right on the spot.
we were pre-qualifying people. Like, I'll look at people's income docs, look at their credit, and we'll run their credit, right?
Yeah.
Read their tax returns, read their pay stubs, right? Say, okay, well, you qualify for this based on the amount of money that you have for down payment and based on what you make and what you qualify for. You can go look at 1, 2, 3 homes.
Wow.
And after you view 1, 2, 3 homes, you can come back and you tell us which one you want to move forward on.
Wow. Okay.
Right? And again, we're coming out of the recession, right? So we're selling homes, which, I would say at the time it wasn't that difficult to sell a home. Again, under that infrastructure. If you're a traditional realtor,
I was just about to say that.
yeah, you were having a horrible time to sell homes, right? But we didn't. Like, in a time when it was very difficult, we found a way to still sell homes and doing it in big units.
Well,
right?
you had a niche, right? So you had a problem. People had a problem. They needed homes.
Yeah.
You was giving it to them at a lower, coming with 15, whatever money you was talking about. They were coming right to you. You was pre-qualifying them on the spot, and you were pumping it out. So you problem solution right then and there.
Right on the spot.
I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
So you said you started because we had a long conversation before we started the pod. So you started mortgages.
Yeah.
You went into the management role with the brokerage. How did you transition from that management spot into opening your own brokerage? Because you said you started 2019.
Well, all right. So
Insta Homes.
So I started Insta Homes in 2019 at the tail end of 2019, but I left and split that partnership or that relationship in 2017.
Okay.
Right. And when I left with the team and and a few other people, and we opened up an office, right, which we rocked out from 2017 to about 2019 together, and it was a very ambitious idea that we had. You know what I'm saying? Where we were trying to have like not only just that one-stop shop, but also extend ourselves into like into the acquisitions, into buying homes, fixing it, and selling the homes that that we're buying. So before it could even get started, a few partnerships ended. You know what I'm saying? So and it was a partnership that started with 4 people that quickly went to just 2 people. Right, and then me and the other partner, we rocked out, right, and we were trying to keep it going, but just conflict of of just operations, just like handling stuff, and we just didn't see eye to eye on like how we should operate and stuff, and or the future of how we should market and brand and stuff. So we just had 2 different visions, and we just began colliding and bumping heads. That we split in 2019.
And you started Insta Homes.
And then so I formed Insta Homes in 2019. So legally, technically, I created the name and formed it in 2018, but I didn't get it licensed and ready for operation until March 2020.
2020. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, March 2020.
March 2020.
The March 2020.
The March 2020. Right, bro? So you can imagine like how much I was going through, right? I was dealing with, right? Obviously, ending a partnership is never easy, right? So I was dealing with that in 2019, right? And then, I had to start from scratch, right? Because even though the prior company, technically I owned it legally, I owned the corporation and I owned a lot of it. I didn't own the legal ownership of the name because I didn't create it. My partner did. So he carried on with the name and he continued on with that. So I had to start from scratch. I had to start a new brand, a new name, everything all over, right?
And I was going to ask you about that. So Insta Homes is not a franchise. This is all
No, this is all me.
Okay.
This is all my, creative, I guess, right? So, and in 2019, while we're splitting, I came up with the name Insta Homes, and I designed the logo myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ended up being cool because it's like, I put it on a slant, right? Yeah. And I put the the checker flag, right? And I put the checker flag in honor of my man Nip.
And Nip, I was
what I'm saying? I had threw that for Nip, and I put the Nipsey Blue on Insta Homes, right? And also like the psychology of understanding like the psychology of colors and branding of like what the colors yellow and blue represent, and what it does to any viewer or prospect when they see those colors together. And it just ended up working out. It ended up being a serendipity because. I put on a slant and the checker flag Insta Homes. Like people are like, oh, so like you get people homes into homes quickly, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Because it just manifests into like I really put the checker flag for my man Nip, but
That's why I kind of thought, because if you look at it from the outside looking in, that's why I thought it was a franchise.
Okay.
Because, like you said, the colors mean a lot.
Right.
It's the symbolicness around it, the name.
Right.
Like, oh, this had to be a franchise that
Right.
you bought into. I didn't know it was your own.
No, this is my own creative, man. Yeah.
So what made you say, all right, I'm going to open up my own broker? Because, this is the era of teams, right? So everyone's doing teams right now. So what made you say, you know what, let me invest this money, because it's a lot of capital that goes into
for sure.
a brokerage, right?
For sure.
Like you said, branding.
Yeah,
you start everything.
Office,
everything.
Everything, yeah.
Why didn't you say, all right, I'm going to do like the Carlos team at XYZ and decided to just open a brokerage?
I strongly believe in myself as a brand and as a business that I almost don't want to give that spotlight to another brand in the company.
Respect that.
You know what I'm saying? That's like, I rather, if I'm going to shine a light, let it shine on something that I own that's, for the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I've been approached by many, EXPs, these, that. And I'm like, I hear it and I like it, but, I want to build something that's, more relatable, more community. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different purpose, because I know I'm a business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Throughout the years of, I've been in this industry since 2003, right? So, my relationships run deep, and I get a lot of opportunities, not just from traditional sellers, but from investors. And for me, I just know how to play the real estate market, the real estate game from so many angles that.
Yeah, well, you've seen it in two different cycles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, right. So it's not, I don't want to say it's easy, because it's not an easy market, but you can adapt.
I can adapt, right? I can flip the switch. So when we go from, being, where wholesale deals or acquisitions are low, but retail is high, people buying, regular homes, I'm still in that market, right? Yeah. So I'm still, riding that wave, right? And when that market drops, right, and people are no longer, that market slows up, and all of a sudden we're in times of, let's say, recession, we're dealing with distress, that's more opportunity for me, because, I've sold so many homes, I have so many relationships, when people are in distress, they often call me to help them out, right? Yeah. And depending on the circumstance, maybe I could buy the property and fix it and flip it myself, right? Or, if not, we'll just do a short sale, put it on the market, and just try to help them out of the situation, right? So, again, it's also, I don't just limit myself to just one way of operating in real estate, right? And also, I don't just limit myself to one territory, right?
I can say that. Okay.
I have a wide range. We'll go out to Long Island, to Center Reach, all the way out to New City. On that side of the bridge in Rockland County, right? Yeah. So, we operate in the Bronx. We do a lot of business in the Bronx. We do business in Brooklyn. We do business in Queens. So,
how many people do you have right now in the brokerage? How many agents do you have?
Right now we have about 14, 15.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's a pretty good size.
Yeah. I mean, 14, 15, but how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everyone's full-time committed with it. But, I would say I have a core of 5, 6 agents. Okay. That like we just go in every single day.
Nice. You said most of them have been with you for a while, right?
Yeah. I have agents that have been with me since 2011. That's been.
So talk about that, because you don't see a lot of agents stick around in one brokerage for that.
Yeah, right?
Like this is
and especially going through transitions of partnerships too. Like, I'm so grateful for my team. I'm saying, because they stuck with me through times where it's like, all right, now we're going this direction, or now we're operating on. I'm saying it's just like, but I would give the credit to that. The amount of support that I give the agents. I'm saying they know that they can reach me 24/7, right? And they know that I got their back no matter what. You know what I'm saying? They have a deal. Deals often run into problems, right? And sometimes they don't know how to resolve it. Sometimes, the agent on the other side doesn't know how to resolve it. Sometimes the loan officer in the deal doesn't know how to resolve it, right? And I'm very good at being a solution-based person, right? Okay. So it's like, I'm able to get into a deal and get on the phone with the loan officer and ask certain questions to understand why a deal is not working out, or why things aren't, or maybe why a buyer and a seller can't, come to terms on something, right? So they know that I'll get involved and I'll help them out with that. And also too, it's like they know that if they have a buyer or they have a prospect, and they need to find a home for them, right? I'm very resourceful in a way where I have access to a lot of off-market homes, right? To a lot of pocket listings, which, obviously we don't advertise those homes, but we have access to those homes where if they have a buyer, I said, listen, we have this home, we have this listing available, And, those are renovated homes, so they can sell a home, be in and out of it in 30 days. And also, man, as soon as we put a deal into contract, I handle the back end stuff for them, right? I'm like, you know what? The property's in contract, focus on the next sale. I'll take care of it. Let me handle the sellers. Let me handle the attorneys. Let me handle the bankers.
You doing that for the agents?
I do that for them.
Wow.
I get that. Focus on your next sale.
Okay.
That's all I want you to do is focus on your next sale. Let me handle the back end stuff. I'm good with that.
All right.
I'm great with that. I like that.
Really?
I love that.
For you said 17 agents. How many agents?
Yeah, about 14, 15 agents, yeah.
And you doing that for every agent?
Yeah. Whenever they have a deal and they need help on it, I'm following up with the loan officers. I'm following up with people.
Yeah.
And
I'm only saying I was shocked because you don't see that, especially when it comes to a brokerage where you see, because you're doing business as well, right?
Yeah, I'm doing my own deals.
So you're quote unquote a competing broker. Yeah. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna give my background. So when I first started, I always say this: I started out the wrong way, right? I went literally one of those Craigslist to look for a brokerage.
Okay.
Crazy. I'm dating myself like a mother, but I'm on Craigslist. But it was a competing broker in a way where that's the only thing they knew. Like they didn't know how to train their agents. They didn't know the back end stuff to do.
Right.
So all they knew was cold call, door knock, and they couldn't teach you how to do anything. So when deals would come in, they were like wolves.
Right.
They wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like
they'd keep it for themselves. They know how to share.
Themselves.
So, I'm totally opposite of that, man. Like I get investors now, they give me their exclusivities, exclusive listings on their homes. And right now, there's too much for me to handle. I give those to my agents, and we worked on a straight 50-50 split. I'm saying, if you get a buyer on this, 50-50. But if it's a co-broker, we'll adjust. But either way, like I make sure that they eat no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm not like that. And on top of that, I spend money marketing leads for them.
I was gonna ask you about
I'm saying,
because I heard you like the lead generating guru.
I'm pretty experienced in that.
I've heard some things about that. So what are you doing to generate leads? What's the
digital, man. Today, again, I'm very stubborn in the regard where, when it comes to buying leads or generating leads, I would not buy a lead that's not through my brand. Like I'm not spending money on lead sources.
Okay.
Right. I spent thousands of dollars, learned the hard way on what works and what doesn't work, right?
Okay.
Going this route. But again, once I figured it out, it's actually now I got it figured out. Yeah. Right now it's working, right? But I just never believed in buying Zillow leads, right? I never believed in like taking Op City leads. I didn't want to take any leads that didn't come in through someone seeing an advertisement or my logo somewhere.
Because it's all about the brand anyway.
It's all about the brand, right? So it's like, I don't want to, call a lead and they're like, they don't remember me because they're like, oh, well, Zillow, you know what I'm saying, and this affiliation. So, I went through a great trial and error of, understanding what works, what doesn't work, on what platforms work, what platforms doesn't work.
What platforms are you using?
Predominantly, Facebook, Instagram, and Google.
Okay.
Yeah, Google, the pay per
clicks. Yeah.
I gotta say, comparing this company and this brand in comparison to the last one I had, I would say branding makes a big difference. Like my name, and I feel like the company name is like a call to action, and I'm getting better engagement. Yeah. I'm getting better lead quality. You know what I'm saying? Based on that. So it's like to build this, it's not just, putting an ad and expecting someone to click the ad and then just, submitting the information and just, and all of a sudden it becomes a sale. It doesn't work that way because there's a back end process, right? Once the lead's generated, how do you convert into a sale? Yeah. Right? So, that's where, my team and I were pretty aggressive on that. Right.
It's crazy because B and I were talking on our way here, right? B's the camera guy. That's the man that makes everything happen. He makes you look good on camera. So we were talking, and I was saying to him, I said, the industry has got to a point where we're independent contractors coming in, but now agents are starting to turn into employees. Meaning they're dependent on that brokerage to give them those leads. They want the brokerage to pay for those Zillow leads, those Op City leads. Right. Like they're not hunting anymore. Right. They're just sitting back, and if they're waiting for it to come, if they don't get it, it's the broker's fault.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you said that, especially when it comes to those pay-per-clicks, because a lot of the bigger companies, that's what they focus on.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's scientific. You know what I'm saying? It's algorithm. these companies got it down to a science, man. There's no such thing as privacy anymore, right? So it's like if
We
you're
see that when we
searching
see a
homes
phone
for
on
sale,
phone. Yeah.
and that's another thing too, man. You got to have technologies, man. To have a successful operation, man. You just can't, just generate the leads. You got to call the leads yourself, right? But even that, I'm saying, has is short-ended, right? It goes beyond that. So, having technologies that's going to engage them and automate the leads. I'm saying having technologies that automate your business to engage them.
Yeah.
Is that I'm thankful that I found the right technologies that work, that bring certain leads and certain prospects to life. That I'm like, oh shit. Like, excuse my language. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse.
Of course, yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I forgot all about this lead because, again, the artificial intelligence, like technology is crazy right now. Like, you see a technology that I use and like how it brings some of my old prospects back to life.
Really?
Off of like text message engagements, email, and just constantly engages these people that we convert extra deals because of it. So.
Is it more of like your CRM itself, or is it just like the
No.
system that you use?
I have an outside plugin that I put into my CRM to tap into my database of clients, but it's a plugin that like, all right, we're not just gonna depend on you to call the leads, because at the end of the day, man, it's like if you're busy doing showings and it's hard to like really hit the phones. And I love hitting the phones. I come from that generation. Like I love hitting the phones. So, and I'm trying to adapt to these times now. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you got to use social media, you got to use, content creation. That's like, but damn, man, like you just can't give me a list of people I can call. And I'm saying, like, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a lot that it takes to be not just a successful broker, but even an agent, man. It's not that easy.
It's not easy. I think that's why the turnaround is so crazy. It's so crazy. People get in. It's a cheap entry way to get in.
Yeah, I mean, TikTok videos ain't cutting it no more. It can only take it but so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does generate business though. Created content, it creates, it generates business. But, I feel this is a time where you got to go back to the old school a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? I love going back. Whenever I hit a wall in any business, or anytime I hit a wall in my business, I'm like, what am I doing? I don't say to myself, what am I doing wrong? I say to myself, what I could be doing better.
What you be doing better, yeah.
Right? And I always go back to my fundamentals because they always work, right? So it's like, all right, make sure I allocate time to call my leads, right? To prospect leads, old leads, new leads, calling people, right? Because I got to have that engagement. I just can't depend on my social media posts to engage with people. They got to have direct engagement too, right?
Yeah.
Doing flyers, mailer campaigns, right? Sometimes door knocking, right? Doing all these things that, we don't want to do, but have to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what's needed now.
Of course.
Now you got to be that agent again. Like it ain't fun no more like it was before, like a year ago. Like you could just post an ad and someone just says, oh, I want to buy a house. And of course you could buy a house. The rates are 2.5%.
Everybody could buy a house at that point if you had a post.
It was different.
Yeah. What challenges have you gone through in your career, right? Minority owner. Do you have those challenges when it comes to talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, I had a seller, I had a problem with a seller recently where I put a deal together and wanted, and it was an off-market deal. And I was competing with another agent, right? But, I ended up losing the deal. But I found out that he paid the agent more money, offered him more money because it was a cultural thing. I'm saying I was like, really?
Yeah.
And the banker told me, he's like, oh yeah, it was a cultural thing. It wasn't about you. It was just, he wanted her to get the deal and he actually paid her more money on the deal. I'm like, wow, he tells me that this is the max he pays on his deals. So, I get that, I get it from time to time, but not that often. I mean, I stay more comfortable in my communities that I don't deal with that. Rarely, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, I rarely deal with that. I mean, I've had sometimes, customers, because they think I'm a certain, color, complexion and stuff, that they feel comfortable talking about other communities a certain way where, I won't dismiss them or, just, end that, business relationship. But yeah, I don't deal with that often. But I do feel, I really don't feel that.
No? All right, I've always been curious about that because you don't see a lot of us with brokerages per se. It's more like the team thing. But I've always been curious, like how do you market? But you said you stay in the community, which is
right.
Well, we're in the community,
Right?
You know what I'm saying? So talk about that a little bit. So why did you say, you know what, I'm going to open up my office right here in it's considered Richmond Hill?
Yeah, Richmond Hill.
They didn't change the name of this
nah,
area, right?
nah, they ain't gentrify it. They call it Little Guyana down there,
A little
but
further
that's
down,
yeah.
I used to actually work over here.
Yeah.
When the Active Warehouse was here. This is
Yeah.
years ago.
I remember Active Warehouse.
Remember the
yeah.
Active Warehouse? I used to work there. I got fired.
Yeah.
I got fired from Active Warehouse. Well, we're not back to that. But yeah, so what made you say, you know what, I'm going to open my brokerage in the community. I'm gonna stay close to home.
Right. So for me, being that we maneuver and operate in the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Long Island, right? This is actually a sweet spot to like go into any part of Brooklyn. If I want to go into Brooklyn, we have, we're right there. If I need to go into the Bronx, it's not too far. Just a few blocks over here, I can catch the Grand Central. Catch the RFK, or catch the Whitestone Bridge. I can catch the Van Wyck right there. The Van Wyck going south, north, whatever I want to go, right? So I think, being accessible to major highways to be able to, service the areas that we work in. Because, again, I'm very unorthodox in the way, we sell homes. I have resources. A majority of my sellers are investors.
Okay.
Right? Guys who buy, fix, and flip homes. So I sell wherever they buy. And it's usually wherever, right? Wherever it makes sense, right? Sense, yeah. Yonkers, we have a property in Yonkers. We have a property in Mount Vernon. So we'll go out there. We don't care. It doesn't make a difference.
I'm like, Los is everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I respect that, though.
Yeah,
I respect that because you got some people that won't, like you saying, they won't go out of like a 5-mile radius. Like they won't, not even 5 miles is a lot for them.
I mean, we're going to take those opportunities because the same principles that work here work there. It's just a matter of just putting yourself out there and just working it.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thankful, I got a team that, when these opportunities present itself, they want to go out there and work it the same way as if I was working.
That's dope.
So,
that's fine. What's the plan? What's the goal for Insta Homes? What's your 5-year? Because I know you're already thinking that.
Yeah.
I know you're ready there.
I definitely want to expand within New York, right? I definitely want to open up an office in the Bronx.
Okay.
Right? Jersey, definitely have more of a presence in the Northeast, right? I mean, ultimately, it'd be nice to be a national broker, right?
Your name is definitely franchise. You could franchise that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, I want to, my goal is to build out a system successfully, right? In the ever-changing times, right? That I could use this system in other states and other parts of the market, right? And I mean, listen, ultimately, it'd be great if, we can go public, right? And that'd be the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah.
That'd be like, all right, cool. I'm done with Insta Homes. We could plant our flag here now and say, we made it, right? But
Facts.
it's very ambitious and it's a big dream, right? I don't think it's unrealistic, right? But yeah, I mean, it's all about growing, but growing with the team that I have too. It's more about that. I'm big on team, right?
Yeah.
I make sure that they eat before I do. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I'm the last one to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. I mean, like I said, I've been doing a little research. I've been talking to a few people about
okay.
it. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's the general like word that I'm getting from everyone. Like, Carlos is solid. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool. Reputation is important. I'm glad to hear that, man, because I try hard to protect my reputation, right? And even though there are people, right, that try to contradict what others may say about me, I'm very protective about it, man. I move with a heart full of integrity. That's my number one principle. You know what I'm saying? It's like, doing the right thing when no one's looking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In every aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? Not just business, even my relationship with my woman. I'm saying, like, I move with integrity. You know what I'm saying? Because I like having a peace of mind.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? I like sleeping peacefully at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do anything wrong to any customers, to any people I do business with, right? Because I don't want to have to worry about my safety and the safety of my loved ones, right? So I'm always, straight with that, right? And even like, for instance, with my woman, like I like to be able to sleep at night, and if she won't go through my phone or whatever the case may be, I can sleep peacefully through the sleep, knowing that.
That's the gym. That's the
gym.
Right,
I'm saying, like,
yeah.
So yeah, I'm very big on fundamentals, man, and just being a team player and being supportive. You know what I'm saying? So
that's dope, man. I mean, I've seen you doing a lot of networking stuff as well. What made you get involved? Because you do like the monthly mixer, right?
Yeah, I do a monthly mixer. Yeah, so shout out to my man Curtis Quell, man. You know, he actually forced me into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was starting it up for this year, which the first one kicked off January 2022 this year after the pandemic lockdown.
Oh, okay. I was about to say he didn't just start it this year.
No, he didn't just start it, but he paused it because of lockdown and whatever the rules and stuff. But when he was starting it back up, he was calling me relentlessly. He's like, yo, man, I need you, bro. He's like, yo, I need you. Please, man. Like, yo, you got to do it. He's like, you got to do it. And I'm glad I did, because our history is that I sold him his first home.
Really?
Yeah. So Curtis came to me when I was operating under the first company, right? Under the first real estate brokerage. And he'll tell you, like, how I operate, right? He'll tell you the same thing. He came with his documents. They reviewed my documents and told me that these are the only homes I could see. Mm-hmm. I think we only showed him 2 homes, and he said he had to choose from 1 or 2. And he chose a home, built equity, and his legacy is going on from that. And I'm saying from that experience is what got him into real estate. Mm-hmm. So, when he started the mixers with that history, of that, he was like, I need you involved so, we could tell a story, we could talk about this and just be a part of it. So, yes, I've been a part of the mixer ever since then, man. And it's been great, man, because it made me step into a light that I was never comfortable in. Yeah. I'm saying, like, I've never been a big fan of the limelight, of the spotlight, right? Mm-hmm. I came up with the old school fundamental rules, like, no, you can keep the cameras away, what I'm saying? Like, it's stay in the background, but, we'll get busy, we'll hustle over here. And I'm saying, like, we'll get busy over here, right? So, so doing that was definitely different, but it was necessary.
Yeah.
It's something that I need to do, right? Because, rest in peace to my man Donald, but, one thing, he was like he was my big brother, but also like one of my biggest supporters, right? And every time I would do something like on social media and I would post like a video, he would always call me up and say like, he's like, that's the shit I'm talking about, right? That's the shit you need to be doing, man. Like, yo, stop playing yourself, man. Like, don't be afraid of success. Yeah. I'm saying, don't be afraid of success. Go after it. And, and I get it. And I'm saying yeah, I know what he meant. I'm saying, because it's like, I see the response and the feedback I get from people, when I do step into that and when I'm more out there. So, so that's a part of the future plans is put myself more out there and, building that presence,
Nah, listen, man, you got it, bro. You got all the moving parts. You got the swag. Everything is there. So
and I got the experience, man.
And you have the experience. The experience is key. That IP is
man.
Is insane.
I weathered many markets. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen, the gray market. I mean, I was a part of the subprime years, right? Where, a 19-year-old kid like myself could go into a mortgage industry, right? Just learn how to talk to people, learn how to sell people, and shortly make 6 figures a year. And I'm saying where, I was riding that high, like thinking like this money was never gonna end. Like, and I wasn't the only one. I know many people that were feeling the same way. Like, man, we thought this money was never gonna end. It was gonna be forever, right? Yeah. So, you know
what I've noticed about that era? A lot of people jump ship.
Yeah.
Right, but the ones that stayed around are still super successful now. And as these markets change, you notice they never sweat. You know what I mean? Like these guys, like, we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, we're
because if you stayed in the industry during the Great Recession, the 2008 crash, like you're not worried about what we're gonna go through now. And if we go through that again, shit, we're like, oh man, that's even more. That's where the money's at. And I'm saying so. Again. When you come from that experience, man, like, man, you survive those times, and if you were one of those people that like thugged it out and stayed with it, man, like, you're built for whatever recession may be coming. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, but there's always opportunity, man. Like, even when we were in the pandemic, you just got to be prepared for it.
The ones that. The pandemic brought hustle out of the people that didn't think they had hustle in them, and the hustlers was like, let's get it. Yeah. The hustlers was eating. What advice would you give to a new agent coming in? Right? Because there's not a lot of mentorship, bro. There's not a lot of mentorship. Especially people that look like us. Yeah. When I first got in, nobody was giving me no game that looked like us. Yeah. They kept everything to themselves. Like they held it like it was their first kid. You know what I'm saying? So but it's the times are changing a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
It's getting a little younger. I mean, even though we're probably like the old men. Somebody called me OG. Somebody called me OG a few months ago, bro. I was like, damn, right? I just heard 40, bro. But I respect it. But what advice would you give to the young ones coming in right now?
I mean, don't be a jack of all trades. Don't try to do too much, right? I say, find an area, because, real estate has so many, there's so many ways to make money in real estate, right? You could do rentals, you could do sales, you could do commercial rentals, you could do commercial sales, you could do residential rentals, you could do residential sales, you could do land sales, you could do so many things in real estate, right? And if you try to do a little bit of everything, you're going to find yourself falling into that 85 percentile of people that quit in the first year.
Yeah.
Because you're not giving your focus to just one area. I would say if you're going to focus on sales, right, focus on being a buyer's agent first before you try being a seller's agent, right? Because most companies, they have the infrastructure where they want you to just get listings, right?
Yeah.
They want listings. And while listings are great, right, when you're a new agent and you have no experience getting a listings,
it's the toughest thing.
It's tough, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going out there, you're door knocking, you're canvassing, and you're like, you're trying to get a listing, and people are asking you qualifying questions about yourself, right? And they're like, what have you sold? What's your experience? And people are like, well, I'm hoping I could be your first listing, maybe. I mean, I'm cute. Give me the listing, right? And that shit don't work. That shit don't fly. So, again, people get discouraged. People get frustrated. They're like, this isn't for me, or people don't want to sell, or so I think that's the toughest way to go about it. I think if you want to, before you get to listings, get some sales done first.
Yeah.
So put yourself out there as a buyer's agent first, get a few sales, and after you do if you do a sale or two in the neighborhood, then I would door knock and say, hey, listen, by the way, I just sold a house on 197th Street, and now you have a track record, right? And then try to build up your sales, build up yourself as a sales agent that way. And also working with a broker, like having a broker that's going to support you, right? Not just with leads, but also, with building your business.
With building the business, yeah.
Right?
Because everyone thinks that you're not just going to get leads coming into a brokerage. That really doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it sucks. It's crazy because I meet people that have brokers that give them leads. And then it's like they have no structure on calling the leads, or they have no skills, and like they don't work with them on the phone sales skills. Like, it's crazy. They'll just give them leads and expect people to figure it out. So it's important to have a broker that's not that, hey, you figure it out, type of person. I'm a big believer in that saying that you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But you teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime, right? So, my philosophy and ideology has always been, I want to create fishermen. You come on board with me, you working with me, I'm going to work with you to become a fisherman. Because even though you come to me for a fish and I give you fish, it makes more money for me. And I don't grow that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need more people that are going to be, self-sufficient, so self-reliant, and that once I teach them the mechanics, that they're able to, maneuver on their own and operate on their own. So, my advice, obviously finding the area that you want to start off in, connect to that area, ride the ups and downs with that area, because it's not always going to be up and it's not always going to be down, right? So you just got to be able to, work hard through it, you know what I'm saying? And also have a broker that's going to support you, and work with you through those times.
I'm glad you said, you mentioned the buyer's agent part of it, like starting as a buyer's agent. I had a conversation with an agent a few weeks ago, and we were talking, and they was like, I only want listings. I only want to focus on listings. Brand new agent, literally like a year in the game. I'm like, it's not that easy. Right. It sounds good.
It sounds good.
And I was telling this person, I'm like, yo, listen, my first few buyers are now my sellers.
Correct.
It takes a while.
Correct.
And then once you get that business going, and then you know how to work with buyers, act like it's game over.
So, I have a saying, right? Wall Street has that saying, you eat what you kill, right? I say in real estate, and I'm going to trademark this, right? You eat what you harvest, right? And real estate is not a business where you make money right away, right? And it's not an industry where just because a prospect isn't ready to buy or sell today, does not mean that they're not a prospect that you should engage and work with and follow up with until they are. You know what I'm
I
saying?
had a prospect that hit me from 2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. So, it's important that when you meet a prospect, whether they're ready to buy or sell in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 100, in a year's time, once you plant that seed, that you continuously water that seed until it's grown and it's ripe for you to eat, right? And real estate, it's an industry where you just gotta plant so many different crops.
Yeah.
And you gotta understand that, certain crops grow in 3 weeks, in a month, 2 months, and they're ready to eat in 2 months, right? Certain crops are gonna take a year, 2 years, right? And as long as you can understand that concept and be patient with it and water all your crops, eventually you're gonna look at it 2 years, 3 years down the line, all these crops are ready to eat, and it's just coming to you. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's really consistent working and following up with your business, with your prospects. Having the prospects is great, but working them, because again, people want the lowest hanging fruit. No, people don't like to work hard. Everyone wants to go down the path of least resistance, right? No one wants to put in that extra effort, right? But unfortunately, this business,
This is the contact sport.
it's a contact sport, man. Like, you got to put in the work and you got to follow up with your people, man. Like, don't dismiss someone because they said, "Oh, I'm not ready to buy today," or maybe follow up with me in 6 months. People don't follow up with that lead. They're like, "Oh, well, they said in 6 months, they're not ready. I'm forget about them."
Yeah.
Right? Again, I've been in the business as a licensed agent since 2011. Right? We're going into 2023, right? I got people that I'm selling homes to in this year in 2022 that I met 3-4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
People that, when I met the first time, I told them, I said, listen, this is what you need to do. Do this with your credit, save this amount of money, have this amount of income. Once you meet this criteria, reach out to me. I can find you an opportunity.
Yeah.
And those people work up to it.
Yeah.
Like, they'll reach out to me like, "Yo, Carlos, listen, I got the raise, I got this, my credit hit, and like, I'm ready now."
That's the call I got from someone 2 weeks ago.
Right? And those are the best prospects,
like,
right?
You gave me, and I honestly, and I'm back because I didn't put her in my CRM.
Okay.
So when she called, I had the number stored, but I'm like, who knows? Good thing my text messages went back that far.
Right, all right.
But I sent her a credit repair person. She's like, "Yo, I got my credit up."
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, great. I mean, I provided the value. I forgot who the hell he was.
Yeah.
But now I got them going, and she just got pre-qualified.
And that's the best prospect, man.
Yeah.
Like, people love that. You know what I'm saying? People always remember the people that are going to help them.
Yeah.
Right? So, I give everyone, as I'm obligated to, I give them the equal opportunity that they deserve.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever their pay stubs may show today.
Yeah.
Right? I meet people, they're like, they come in, only make $30,000 a year. I'm like, all right, well, do you have any family members, right? Do you have a significant other? Do you have this? Do you have that? And I tell people what it takes and what are the options to get into it.
Yeah.
Right? What are the bare minimums you would need, right? And as long as you work yourself up to that, then we could take this conversation even further. And it's not giving people false hope. It's giving a real strategy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all people want. People just want you to be realistic with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes if someone's coming to you and they know they make $30,000, they know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need a little help with
this. I need some guidance and some direction. And you know what?
Man.
I built a successful business from those conversations that most people dismissed.
Yeah.
They're like, nah.
Bro, those are the ones that give you the most referrals.
And those are the ones that give you the most referrals.
Exactly. You get
Exactly.
like 3, 4, 5 referrals to them.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nah, man, yo, I appreciate this convo, bro. You really shed light on a lot of shit.
I appreciate
you know what I'm saying?
Cool.
And this is like the second time we met.
This is the second time we meet.
Second time we met, but I feel like I've known this guy for like forever. Because we always communicate on the gram and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been asking this question the last few podcasts.
Okay,
right?
Cool.
And I know you're going to get this.
All right.
I'm an 80s baby,
All
right? Hip hop raised me.
All right.
If there was one artist, album that could put you in one era, that could describe you to a T, what it could be an artist, album, rap, R&B, whatever it is, who would it be and what would it be?
I mean, I'm gonna have to say Hove.
Ooh,
you're
the first one that said Hove so far.
Yeah, Hove is very influential to my upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up without a father around, so it's like I had to learn how to be the man of the house at a young age, and having a mother who's a single parent mom, an immigrant who really doesn't speak the language, I had to learn how to hustle at a real young age, right? So yeah, that reasonable doubt, man, it was like a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it cursed me to do certain things that a young kid shouldn't be doing. But it blessed me to become a hustler and understand the mechanics of the world, right? The streets, and understanding that those fundamentals wasn't difficult to understand the corporate. So when I went into the mortgage industry and understand how that works, I was able to take the fundamentals I learned from there and team build. I mean, if you go back to my mortgage days, like it didn't take me a year before I had my whole crew and some of my boys in there working with me. You know what I'm saying? Then I became a team leader. Then, I had telemarketers, and I had you as a head telemarketer, and we're all eating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna definitely say Hove and Reasonable Doubt.
That's
definitely, that's engraved in my DNA. I believe.
I go to Reasonable Doubt at least like once a month.
Yeah,
I play the album.
Yeah, that's like a timeless album, man.
Yeah,
so
that's why when he didn't have it on Apple for a while.
Yeah,
it wasn't on Apple Music.
Yeah.
They came out with music. I went crazy.
Oh yeah, I don't even do Apple. I only do Tidal.
You only do Tidal?
I only do
Oh,
Tidal.
you're a Hove guy for real. Okay.
Nah, I love Hove, man. Like that's that's someone that I built many memories with.
Yeah, same.
Throughout the years.
Same. Nah, man, this is a dope combo, bro. You the first person. It's crazy. You're literally the first person to say Hove, and I'm shocked. But I got some great answers. I got Nas, Coogee rap. I got
of course,
straight hip hop heads.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming on the
brother.
pod,
Thank you for having me, man.
Of course,
it's
man.
Been a pleasure, brother.
This is definitely one of my favorites, man. I
appreciate that, dope.
Of course, man. Yo, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Give me your information, bro.
Carlos.instahomes. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. That's it for now.
There you go.
All right.
Be out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Nah, bro, that was dope.
Dope, brother.